Hi, I'm Anthony Jeselnik, comedian, roaster and host of the Jeselnik Offensive. Ask me anything. Who are your favorite people in the comedy world to be around? Amy Schumer, Jonah Ray, Kumail Nanjiani, Natasha Leggero, Dave Attell, Keith Robinson, T.J. Miller, Pete Holmes, Jimmy Carr. Those are my favorites, but I'd rather hang with comics than just about anyone else. What do your family members think about the jokes you tell about them? How much truth is behind those jokes about dates and jokes about past life events? The mom, Holocaust defender joke is incredible, but I could imagine her hating you for it, or taking it in stride and understanding that it's just a joke. This is why I ask. My family and friends love my jokes because they know none of them are real. My mom would rather I call her a Holocaust denier and know it's totally made up than air private family matters for laughs. What was the first stand-up joke you told? I remember doing a workshop where I did an impression of my dad getting stung by 100 wasps, which happened when I was a kid. I jumped around, slapping myself and swearing for 10 seconds, which seemed like a minute. When I stopped, there was absolutely no laughter. It was humiliating. And I decided right then and there that physical humor was going to off-limits for the rest of my life. Any jokes that you had high hopes for but bombed in front of an audience? Love your comedy and delivery. Whenever I write new jokes, I always have one or two where I think, oh, this is brilliant. 9 times out of 10 I'm dead wrong. Sometimes I have a joke where I think, this is just okay, but then it kills. That surprise keeps it interesting. I wouldn't have as much fun if I was right all the time. How do you cope with booing? Do you ever get nervous? How do you hide it, or deal with nervousness in everyday life? Thanks dude, you're a skilled comedian. I don't mind booing every now and again. It makes me laugh. Booing is a reaction. What drives me crazy is drunk people talking and not paying attention. Have you ever had a joke in your routine that didn't get many laughs but you stuck with it cause you personally found it hilarious? If so, what was it? I always have a joke or two in my act that I like more than anyone else, but I leave it in there because it makes me happy. Usually it's something a little more silly than my other stuff. The one I can remember right now is this. I broke up with my last girlfriend because she lied to me and told me she got molested by her neighbor. But I know her neighbor. He's a really cool guy. Not like her creepy-ass other neighbor. Who has taken one of your roasts the worst? Carrie Fisher didn't handle things too well. Most celebrities aren't too thrilled once it's over, though. I don't get a lot of positive feedback from the rest of the dais, save my fellow comics. I saw you perform at Bumbershoot, which included about 40 to 50 people walking out during the middle of your set. Do you have a favorite, stick it to the audience, memory? Something where you just said, fuck it, and knew you weren't going to win the audience over, so you decided to try to get everyone as pissed as possible, aside from Great Barrington, that is. Also, I was able to get a signed CD and picture with you a while back. Just wanted to say thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to a random dude, as you've been one of my faves for a while now. And contrary to what a lot of people think of you, you seemed like a pretty swell dude. Keep it up, man. Thanks. I like meeting fans after the show. Comedy is such a personal thing that I'm honored to have passionate fans. As far as saying, fuck it, and just laying into an audience, I don't think it's gotten better than the Bumbershoot show you mentioned. Having 40 people walk out on me because I told a rape joke just makes the rest of the show that much more fun and satisfying for the crowd that stays. On Twitter, you are known to make edgy jokes after almost every high-profile tragedy, e.g. Sandusky, Colorado Theater. Given your reputation as an evil comedian, many were surprised that you didn't take on the seemingly impossible comedic task of Sandy Hook. Did you purposely steer clear of this topic? When I first started making jokes after a tragedy or a death on Twitter, I was making fun of people who tweet sincere, meaningful things on something as dumb as Twitter. It was funny to me to just say the opposite. Now I feel like it's kind of become a thing and I've kind of lost interest in that. As far as Sandy Hook, I tried to come up with a good joke, but I couldn't come up with something good enough to stand up to the tragedy. Also, I do not like being told what to do. So people tweeting me saying, "Where's your joke?" pisses me off. Can you roast Reddit? How can anyone make fun of Reddit? Bronies rule. What is the format of the Jeselnik offensive gonna be? Sketch show? Clip show? It'll look more like a late-night talk show, with a monologue and short comedy pieces like Conan would do from behind his desk. And instead of interviewing a celebrity one-on-one, I'll have two comics on at once to discuss the most fucked up stories of the week. All dark as possible, of course. Be honest. How hard was it sitting through the situation's roasting of Donald Trump? That was probably the most cringe-worthy moment that I've witnessed in a long time. Also, rape. It was funny at first, but then I realized, oh shit, I'm next. That set was 10 times worse in person than it looked on TV too. On TV you just hear boos. In person you can hear hundreds of people screaming, "Get the fuck off the stage, you piece of shit." I will forever give the situation credit for staying up there and not running off stage. Has there ever been a joke you came up with and then said it was too offensive even for you? I only have one joke I ever wrote that I wouldn't do because of content. It contained the N-word in the setup and punchline, and I just didn't want that word coming out of my mouth as a personal choice. Didn't really have anything to do with being too offensive. Did Roseanne have any jokes you couldn't say about her on the roast? I don't think she had any restrictions, but at the last minute she requested that we not tell any jokes about her accusing her parents of molesting her and then admitting she was wrong. We told them anyway, but they mostly got cut out. Hey Anthony. Big fan from Slovenia here. Any plans on visiting us? Someday. I actually just found out about my Slovenian heritage a few years ago. Gotta check it out sometime. Not sure how well my humor will translate though. If you weren't a comedian, what would be your job? And what has been your favorite moment doing a roast? My favorite moment during the roast was saying, "Lisa Lampanelli? You're cool," during the Trump roast. I had to fight for that one. I just thought it was so funny to skip someone after crushing everyone else. And she really thought I was going to destroy her, so watching her face change when she realized I wasn't going to pile on with another tired fat joke was fucking priceless. A few questions. Which comedians made you want to pursue stand-up? What's your writing process like? Are you a notebook everywhere kinda guy, or more of a sit down and do it like a job writer? You're great on Twitter. Has having to work in such a condensed form changed the way you think about the rest of your material? Is there another comedian you love being on a bill with? Anyone you'd hate to have to follow? Honestly, bad comedians made me want to pursue stand-up. The greats, like Hedberg and Wright, always made me feel like I could never rise to that level. I'm a sit down and write kind of guy, but if an idea pops into my head, I'm ready for it. Twitter hasn't changed how I write, it's just uniquely suited to my bare-bones style. I pride myself on being able to follow anyone, but I love being on the same bill with TJ Miller. The opposite of my style and a total nutjob. Mr. Jeselnik, you have a great on-stage persona, but I'm guessing it doesn't have the same effect at every venue. How have you dealt with hecklers or certain audiences not laughing, getting your jokes? What has been your worst experience? Congrats on the new show. Thanks. I don't mind hecklers as much as I hate drunk people. Hecklers I can talk to and I have a pretty stellar knockout record. Drunks are just all about themselves. They don't listen and they ruin shows for me and the people around them. Is it just me, or do you sometimes have a Christopher Walken-esque inflection in your voice? Intentional? I still remember how much you pissed off that lady from Facebook Hour at Rooster T. Feathers. You had so much fun with her, and she had none, hee. Ha. I remember that chick. I do have a Walken-esque inflection in my voice. My whole family kind of talks that way. I play it up in my act sometimes because it's a great way to hide the misdirection of a joke. Plus, Christopher Walken rules. When did you first realize you had a way with words, with the delivery of your jokes, and with completely captivating probably everyone you've ever talked to? Seriously, you are like a car accident. Can not look away. I think I realized I had something in the second grade, when I insulted a girl in my class, but it was so good that it made my teacher laugh. That was a light bulb moment for me. Make the teacher laugh and you can't get in trouble. Huge fan. Has anyone come up to you after a roast and said, "Dude, that was uncalled for"? Or are they all prepared for that kind of stuff? There's usually someone who walks up and says, "That one joke was too much," which is hilarious to me because they're actually saying, rape, abortion and suicide were okay. But that one joke about domestic violence is wrong. Fuck you. If you could roast one person in history, who would it be? Oscar Wilde. The wittiest motherfucker in history. What was it like to roast Charlie Sheen? It was interesting, because we knew we were in the middle of this perfect shitstorm. It wasn't that fun for me because my girlfriend, Amy, was on that roast. I love when people make fun of me up on the dais, but I am not cool enough to enjoy someone making fun of my girlfriend. I'm just like, fuck you, John Lovitz. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss more awesome videos.